Hello, hello, hello. How are we all tonight? Hope we are doing good. Uh, just need to share this out in all the regular spots. Hey, Metal. Just sharing this out in the regular spots and one sec. Need to copy the link. Come into Discord. I know still using the AI thing. I just didn't want to create a new one up for this. Technically, I've got it drawn, but I gotta color it. You should see where I am. Metal. Okay, so.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, how are you?
Eh.
Uh, So let's see. So, what do you think of this design? Does it fit within the specs of your?
Yeah, design's fine. Might want to work on the proportions and stuff more, but the design's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and I might actually do a little bit of work on the coloring for this one too tonight. The main one.
Posh
But
says it's Mega Man. That doesn't look anything like Mega Man. Like, at all. You know. Do you need glasses?
okay, so this is
We did just get a new Mega Man announcement, though. I'm excited for that.
okay. Oh, what's that about? Is it Mega Man 12? What is it exactly?
I forget the name. It's not called Mega Man 12, I don't think. But it was during yesterday, or no, today's game announcements. Let me just look this up real quick. It was called Dual Overdrive. That's the name of it. I think it's supposed to be replacing Mega Man, like the old ones. So instead of like actually continuing the number, like, because they went back and they did 8 through 11 through like the last decade or whatever. It has like the old Mega Man screen, sort of. It's got Robot Masters. It's doing all the same stuff that like the old Mega Man are doing, but it's doing it in like modern graphics. So it's still like 2D side scroller, but it's using 3D models. They look great though, because at least they went with like a really cartoony look that looks like all the comics and animations that they've done with Mega Man over the years.
Okay, is there some pictures or whatever that somewhere that I can
Uh,
check
I mean,
out?
you could just Google Mega Man Dual Override, and that will find it. That's
Yeah, okay. Well, Mega Man
Dual
Duel.
ride. Everybody's obsessed with Twinkle Girl because it's like the second girl robot master we've ever had in like mainline Mega Man games, and Mega Man kills her in the trailer. So it's like, hey, cool, new character for a second.
Twinkle Girl. Okay.
Yeah.
On Steam. Okay.
It'll be on Nintendo and a bunch of other things, but yeah, as a PC gamer, you will be able to pick it up on Steam.
Let's see. Karen's here and she says, "Hello, Rick. Oh, wow, you're drawing my grandpa." And then Posh says, "My keyboard key stopped working." Which key? Can you hit it to tell us?
Oh, it's the key that does keyboard. Right, or maybe it's like none of the keys you type, right? Because it's like it's the keyboard key. Maybe he actually has like a lock that you have to put a key into to be able to access the keyboard. Ant.
But Posh, well, since you're here, Metal's wondering what time might be good to get together with you to make up
I
the
told
character.
you I was going to shoot him a message after
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah. I just figured, why not? He's here, right?
I'm still going to shoot the message because even if you ask somebody, right? We've been through this many times where you've asked me something on the show. Forget. Right, because it was like a verbal, it was a quick exchange. If it's something that's like in the DM, you can look back and oh, it's the C. It's the C key that he can't use. And so you can't type can't. There's no C in sentence. His C key broke. Yeah, but like, you send a DM to somebody, they can look back on it. I remember DMs myself way more than if somebody just asks me to do something verbally.
Yeah. Ant says, "Sup," says Timothy. "Hey, Tim." Ant say, "But maybe you and guess the letter missing in my sentence." And Posh said he was barely hearing you. I put your volume up. Let me check Discord.
Whoa.
Your volume's up full on my end. Well, in Discord, anyways. And then Tim says, "Stop drawing grandpas. It's rude." I'm drawing a grandpa? I didn't know that.
The only person I could think of whose grandpa that could possibly look at is probably GMT, because, GMT is like a 7-foot tall robot.
And I got a little bit of that stuff done for this. And I think. Oh, male. That's all I put. Obviously. I wasn't sure whether I should put vocation or whether his vocation would be the same as my.
No, actually, you can have a independent vocation, completely different from yours. Like I said, you can't. And I guess maybe we should have thought about this, but we were so wrapped up, I completely forgot to think about your sidekick. Your sidekick doesn't learn abilities aside from like the vocation equip abilities that everybody gets for having the vocation equipped. The unique passive or unique constant and unique command ability. So we'll have that for combat, but you don't have like any AP left you can use to buy abilities for your sidekick.
Yeah, especially when we're just doing a one shot.
Yeah. But and you could do this yourself. I'm not going to go over it with you. Just keep track of it. Uh, your sidekick does have um, what's it called? Its own talents, right? So it's the same 200 talent points. You can go divvy that up.
Uh-huh.
And technically, your sidekick does have money and equipment. I'm just gonna. I told you this in the call. I'm just gonna give your sidekick the most basic equipment. Period. Um, and then you can deal with that later, like some other point in the future, in some
Yeah.
like other campaign.
Yeah. I probably will use him for a couple campaigns of these two or whatever, you know what I mean, for a couple campaigns.
Yeah. Hey, Flit.
Yes, hello, Flit. And I just
Flit
reused.
was asking me for like colors and stuff for his characters. And technically, he could have just color picked the stuff I sent him. But in the middle of me sending him, I completely forgot about like his disability. So I'm like, here, let me go make you an actual palette with the hex codes and stuff. Like, I'm sure he didn't see it coming off as rude with me just throwing it off. He's probably, used to it, doesn't think any of it. But then I remembered, like, let me do this properly.
And Flit says, "Oh, Tim's here. Hi, Tim." Yeah, I don't think he'd do think any of us. Well, most of us would do anything rude and nasty to him on purpose.
Well, if I did, it'd be jokingly, and I would hope it was obvious.
Yeah.
Though I do tend to have very dry humor, so I've noticed a lot of times people can't tell when I'm joking. That's why I've developed the habit of like almost laughing along with my own jokes a lot of times in a friendly situation, because I'm like, if I'm just deadpan, it can sound like I'm totally serious. And I've gotten in trouble too, where something was clearly a joke, and it's like, yeah, I need to start laughing at my own jokes so people can tell their jokes. It's so dry. Yeah, I think part of that comes from you just watching a lot of like British comedy growing up. You kind of just develop a very dry humor. My dad really liked Monty Python's Flying Circus, so we watched a lot of that stuff.
Flit says, "There's nothing anyone can say or do that I haven't heard before."
Yeah, I would have figured that too. Like, if you make it to adulthood with any type of like thing different about you, you've probably heard it all.
Tim so very damn dry.
Well, yeah, that's how you make the land dry. You dam up the river. I need to go find your character sheet. I didn't have anything pulled up before coming on here.
Yeah.
I think I barely had my computer started before coming on here.
I've got one. I've got the one for this guy pulled up.
Yeah, that's the one I'm pulling up. I'm gonna call him Parik.
Barik.
Yep. I'm gonna pronounce that 7 like an A and that 3 like an E. Just for the sake of this stream, I'm gonna call him Parik. It's easier. What we play, I'll probably just call him 3C. I think, that'll be fine, but for this stream, I'm calling him Parik. Unless you come up with a nickname. Like I told you, a lot of these guys, for working in the Alliance or just among the other races, tend to have like a more organic nickname that people call them by.
Well, I think Parik sounds actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And well, the 7, I don't know. Actually, the 7 was supposed to be more an upside down J.
Like an L. Oh, a J. Okay.
And I'm not sure what the 3 is for.
Because normally when I do see a 7, I think L. Right? Usually that's what we use 7 for.
Yeah. I just couldn't think of what to use as a J in a number.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
kind of like a J too.
And I just wanted to vary it up somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Flip says language, Rick. This is a family show. I thought it was my show. And technically I do put these are not for kids, so does that mean it's a family show or not when I put the not for kids?
It can still be if it's not marked for 18 plus explicit content or anything like that.
Yeah.
You should name your sidekick Idiot, but spelt like leet speak, with 1s and 0. Yeah, but technically, the 4 kids means it's content that is directly targeting kids, right? So that's like cartoon shows on family networks, specifically the younger stuff. But they'll do any cartoon, even if the cartoon's for like teenage age, they'll still mark it for kids because their auto censors do that. But the idea is for things like under the age of 13. If it's targeting people under the age of 13, that's for kids content.
Yeah.
And then if you have the explicit content, that's supposed to be adult only content. Doesn't give people a pass for like nudity and stuff. That's just against YouTube's terms of service. But it's like swearing, maybe mild gore, like fake blood or something like that. That stuff falls into the 18 plus category.
No. So what were you?
Anything in between, I guess, is family content.
You were saying something about proportions or something earlier.
I think it was more that your character didn't look like he had a neck. Or, I mean, less that he had a neck because, robot. But it doesn't look like he has any type of axle or chassis for the head to be sitting on. It looked like it was just, built into the chest the way you had it drawn before. And maybe it could be the angle you're trying to draw it on. You're just not setting it right. So that's all I'm saying.
Put the head in there again later.
Yeah. Yeah, like a joke. It's like, Man, I hate my manufacturer. He didn't even give me a washer for my head to sit on. Be like, what's it, the Nolan Batman? He can't even turn his neck. Oh yeah, so the level, I think it was 3. Because it's at, what's it called?
75%.
75%, yeah. For like the HP, TP, SP stuff, I'm just gonna give him the level 3 experienced character. You're not rolling those because we
Okay.
already did all your rolls and stuff. But you know, you still figure out the attribute values, which will be 30 plus the 2 that he would gain, 32 total. But yeah, sidekicks don't get ability points; they have to use yours. That's one of the like, what's it called? The limits for it. Because you are functionally playing 2 characters, but I need to make it more like you're playing a character and a half, or else it'd be a little too broken. But there's other benefits when this will be after we're already
Yeah.
playing because I've got so much to write already. I'm not prioritizing this, but the legacy section is like one of the big things where like having the sidekick perk comes in, and that's going to be several pages.
Yeah.
Flitt's asking, is there a Melvin omnibus yet, or what's going on with that? Does Melvin have
No,
enough issues to be worth an omnibus?
no, definitely not. He's only got 4 issues.
Yeah. Depending how long the issues are, though, maybe enough to like have a volume. Though typically, unless you hit like 10 or chapters or whatever, or 12, because that would traditionally here that would be like the year, right? One each month. But typically, you don't want to cap a volume until you finish like a story arc or something. Melvin Collected Edition.
Hey, Alpha. Hello, Fitzjozo. Aspect ratios. Okay, apply transformation.
Oh yeah, that's better. Melvin Collected Edition, Volume 1.
Oh, actually, I think he's actually got 5 comics because it is Melvin 4 out. Yeah, Melvin 4 is out, I believe, and then he's got issue 0. So
There we go. I don't know why I wasn't following Tim as an author on Amazon, but I resolved that now. Did you know if you have favorite authors on Amazon, you can follow them and you get emails when they have new releases? They don't even have
Huh.
to tell you.
Cool.
Flit asks, what do I get with the collected edition? And Tim responds, Melvin, 0 through 4.
A 162 pages. Oh, 162 pages. Really? Says Tim. Paperback is only $15. Yeah, I gotta get out there and start trying to get people to buy Canadian Shield 1 on Amazon. I haven't really made any sales on. I've made one sale on that. I'd like to thank the person that bought it very much.
Because it was the only way he was ever going to get one of your comics.
Yeah. Actually, I gotta get somebody to do a cover for number 2 for it. Canadian Shield, and a cover for 3 and 1 for Snowdrift.
Except I can't follow Rick Piper as an author because he doesn't have his author page set up.
I don't.
Apparently not. You can go set that up. I think what's it? It's either in the Kindle Direct Publishing or it's in the Amazon bookshelf. I don't remember exactly.
Let's see.
I'm gonna take a gander and guess that Tim didn't even set his own up. Given the fact that like his stuff is on there because of Critical Blast, I bet RJ was the one who set up his author page and everything for it.
Yeah, I have ebook version of it by Richard Piper. You said where or where?
It should either, I don't remember exactly where it is. It's either in your Kindle Direct Publishing normal stuff or it's in the bookshelf. But there is a way that you can set up your author page. I did it a long time ago.
Tools and resources. Uh, maybe you need more than one.
Maybe. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I put up like, I think at least digital copies of like 4 or 5 EDK stuff all at once when I set it up originally. So I've never received money from Amazon. Despite making sales. And part of it is because of complication with my old bank account. And then recently, I had to delink it because that bank account's closed. So it's like they can't send money to it anyway. But now because I don't have a bank account attached to it, I can't even put up new products. So I have to go get a new bank account sometime soon in the near future. I hate banks though.
Yeah. Amazon ad. I can do Amazon ad. Author Central. With Author Central, you can create and update an author page.
I think
Claim
that's it.
con-
I think that's what I'm thinking.
Amazon.com, Amazon.co. I guess I gotta go .com because it.
I need to actually. I'll tell you what I need to unfollow. I need to unfollow a couple people. Where's I used to follow like JDA, but then I realized he's a competent writer, but I don't actually like any of his books. So it's like, man, I just keep getting emails for books I'm never gonna buy. Get these out of my inbox.
Okay, well. Okay. That's a good point. Okay. First says, oh, the manga size is 15, the comic size is 20, and the hardcover is 30. How I get how it works. Indeed. And pretty much split. And that's a good point. Hey, Raul. Raul says, covers? I guess that's to
Oh,
my
yeah.
thing.
Like, I definitely have to get everything hooked up prior to when I release this book, because the tabletop rule set is going to have print versions whenever we get to at least version 1.0. So that's going to be a while from now because we still have to do some beta testing and stuff. But sometime next year there'll be a print version of the tabletop manual, probably multiple. And it's like, man, I need to get this situation sorted out so I can do that.
I need to start drawing again. I've been too worried about my health and what will be for dinner, says Alpha.
I drew something for the first time in 3 weeks this morning
Okay.
because Flit wanted to know what the actual emblem for the Kergol Alliance Operational Services was. I was like, okay, I'll go sketch that out. But it was like, God, I didn't want to waste too much paper. So I took the back of something that I already drew. I think it might have been the rough draft sketch layer for the Canadian Shield cover I did for you, and I just
Yeah.
drew like a 1 inch tall version of it.
Uh, oh,
Which,
did
if you
you
need that,
do?
I could send that to you too. But
I don't think I need it. Um,
yeah,
no, what I was gonna ask was, cause forget, did you do you did the shield cover traditionally and then scanned it in, right, to color it?
yes. But also, you weren't happy with my initial sketch, so that's the page that it was. So I scanned that, and then I widened it digitally, and then I traced back over my computer screen on
Yeah,
another piece of paper before I did the actual final inks and stuff. So
yeah. I was trying to think whether on some campaign, well, unless you want to keep that, of course, or whether could offer it up as a tier.
um, I mean, sometime in the future I can mail it to you. Not now though, because
No, 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 no. I
I'm
wasn't
also
even
about to
th-
move soon, so that would be inconvenient.
I wasn't even thinking mailing it to me. It's like whenever I do that campaign, just have you mail it directly to the person. Help
Yeah,
us.
but what if, they don't want their address given to multiple people? If I give it to you, you could just put it in their box.
Yeah, well, I could ask them, and then if they care, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like when I
Alpha
did.
says, I miss drawing on paper, but I do not miss scanning pages. I like scanning pages. I don't like having to keep my giant ice chest sized scanner around, printer, but that's only because it's a pain to move. Once I'm at a place, it's fine. I like scanning pages.
Okay, so overall, what do you think of the
He's
design?
not wearing overalls. Though actually, that would be a pretty good design. A robot in overalls.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think of the concept of the my bot?
Tight.
Now it's color time. Alpha's like, I like overalls.
I conceptually like overalls. I don't like denim. That's my problem. Just, this is a clash I've had my entire childhood because, living in Texas and not liking denim, people think I'm a freak for all kinds of different reasons, but also that particularly, people are like, what do you mean you don't want to wear jeans? I think the only time I've ever liked anything that was denim, and people thought I was even weirder because of this, was I had a denim jacket that I wore a lot. But the thing is, I only ever wore it in weather where I was already wearing long sleeves underneath it. So it's like I never had the denim up against my skin.
Uh, Flit says female robot in overhauls take the wrench wench concept to the next level.
Mm. I
I
did
lo-
have a pair of like corduroy overalls when I was a little kid that I would wear to church sometimes. Like I would say kindergarten age. Those weren't uncomfortable. I don't think I would wear corduroy overalls as an adult, but I didn't hate those as a kid. Or maybe I don't know. Do they make other types of non-denim overalls like more commonly these days?
Uh,
Technically, they always did, but it was hard to find them.
I think so. I'm just not sure offhand what the other materials
See, I
would
ended up
be.
wearing coveralls instead. But to be fair, when you're doing like manual labor that you need to be covered, coveralls are just better than overalls. They're just not stylish. Well, I mean, they can be. They can be stylish. I'll take that back. But you just don't normally want to wear coveralls.
Fitzgerald says, I will probably remember more about these robot characters once I watch the actual game.
Probably. Which should be fairly soon. So maybe sometime next month. Things keep getting pushed back, but because of scheduling. But maybe, well, we're thinking 12th might be fine.
Yeah,
Just got to make sure we fill in. We have one open slot now. I guess I didn't announce this, though. I told all the players backstage in their own independent DMs. We had to split the crews into 2 different runs, so I'm going to be running the same one shot twice. No complaint from me. That's more data, right? Getting to run it twice, right? That helps for my beta testing. But there's a scheduling conflict where the player Doc from like my Newgrounds friend group, he just cannot play early enough on like a weekend because of his work schedule to be able to work with you guys. Like, when I was talking to Rick about it, it would have to be almost 1 a.m. by the time his time by the time we'd be able to play. Not working. So I'm splitting into 2 different groups. Posh, I think, he's the one that's coming in to fill, right?
yeah, one of the ones, anyways.
Yeah. So I just have to fill the 4th slot.
Also, Tim Curry left us today. Yeah, I heard. And then Dolly Parton as well, a day or two ago. Quote
Both at 80.
unquote.
A quote
Both
unquote
at 80.
scheduling conflict. Yeah. It was like, that just meant he didn't want to play with one or both of us. I'm like, to be fair though, Doc doesn't know either of you, like really at all. He never watched the other
Yeah.
playthrough that we did. He doesn't really come into these streams or anything like that. He could not have a positive or negative opinion about either of you. And he's like a really chill guy. He gets along with everyone. Not everyone gets along with him. Unless, he can like put his brain into safe for work mode, like he's at work. I did have to tell him no slurs on stream. But he is really chill and gets along with everyone. I don't think that would be a problem for him. He just absolutely can't make it during that time.
Yeah. Heck, technically, if it was like Friday night, Saturday morning, I could probably do it then, but.
Yeah. I think that crew, I'm probably going to end up doing it pretty late on Wednesday, I think is probably when it's going to work out. And I even told him, like, let's find the day first, and then I'll find the other 2 people, because it's a lot easier to find 2 people that have a day free than it is to find a free day for, like, 4 or 5 people.
Yeah. So do we have enough people for the one that I'm in?
I just have to pull one more person. I'll be able to find one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be me, my friend, Posh, and is Flit in our group still?
Yes, Flit's in your group. That's how I split it. Also, I wasn't going to separate you and Flit.
Okay.
You were Flit's favorite player during our last campaign. He was entertained, like, to heck and back. Every time we talk about this, he goes on about how, like, fun it was to play with your character because of how you ended up playing him in a way that, like, none of us understood how you thought your character was supposed to be played.
I don't even know if I knew. I was making it up as I went along. Flit says we all know it's because Rick's overwhelming charisma intimidates most people. Fitzjoseph says, I think Rick might have negative charisma. No. And Flit says, oh, Rick's over here flexing that he has friends. Am I flexing? Okay.
Well, thankfully in this game, Rick, you cannot have negative charisma points. So, well, not actively. There actually might be some debuffs that could be like you effectively have negative charisma points, but that's a temporary thing. This game does have both flat and percentage debuffs, so you can't go into the negative from like percentage debuffs, but you could from flat.
What do you mean from flat?
So like a flat debuff would just be additive or subtractive, right? Instead of taking a percentage of what you already have, it's just a flat number that gets added or subtracted from your stats. So, you know, if you got hit with both somehow, like beforehand, you got hit with like a 50% reduction in charisma, and then it brought it down low enough that you also got hit with a flat minus 25. And now that it's low, it's like the flat minus 25 put you effectively into the negative, then it is possible temporarily to have negative charisma.
Which would do what
I had
exactly?
to rethink my statement after making it.
And what would that do exactly for somebody in that state?
Well, if you had negative charisma, it would be physically impossible to pass a charisma-based task check. Just in general, like, well, unless you have the skill, because if you have the skill, then you don't have to use whatever the attribute or any type of trait that's attached to it. But like, if you were doing a raw task check against your charisma stat, it would be impossible to pass it because you have negative points.
Flit says, if you hit negative charisma, do other characters find the affected character repulsive and refuse to interact with them?
I'd imagine so. Like, this isn't the type of stuff that I'm gonna put in the player's manual. A lot of it would vary on the situation, right? But these will be little tidbits and ways to suggest play after we get all this beta stuff up and I start working on like dungeon or game master tips and tricks and guides and stuff like that.
For the Entropy Effect manual.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's going to be an entire separate section on the site underneath like the player's manual, setting guides, and like the main category that is like game mastering. And it'll have all kinds of resources specifically for game masters. And I mean, obviously, anybody could go and look at it, even if you're just planning to be a player. So you could glean information that could help you meta game, but also more importantly, could help you think about how you should roleplay better. But it's mostly separated so people can avoid spoilers and stuff like that, and just the people who are game mastering can go and look for their tips and tricks and everything.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I know I've said that I'd like to try and create something like this for the Cross Comics universe, but I have no idea how.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Not even done with it. And the main player's manual is already like 120 pages. I think the settings guides also hit like 100 pages. Now, some of it's also because there's tables, right? So, like the equipment tables and stuff like that bloated up. But
Yeah.
still, a lot of it's literally just text explaining things.
Are you gonna
I'm
make
gonna
this
write,
an
like, a simple
audiobook?
No, I do not plan on making an audiobook. I'm gonna write like a simple guide though, as well after all of this, after we have like the 1.0 version available that skims everything down and cuts out the math. It's like if you want to run the most simple version of this game, this is how you would do it. That's future problems. Split asks, oh, metal. What colors should metal accessories be, e.g. buttons, brooches? For which set? For like the Alliance uniform one? Because if that's the case, I would probably say, depending on what you're already using, for probably the trim color, which is the gold. It's like a bronzes gold that I gave him for that. It's labeled like the trim, or it's the secondary one right after the main blue. But if it's accessories or like on the shirt or undershirt or anything, probably the black color, which I think, let me go relook at it. I believe that's the main accessory color, like the first one out of the two. Yeah. So for the uniform, the most of it should probably be the one labeled trim color, unless it's like on a shirt or something like that. You're asking like buttons, brooches. Then it's probably accent/accessory color one. And those are the ones I would recommend. If you're talking about like your character's like traditional outfit colors, because I don't know how you're making your outfit, for the Yole, I would probably say pretty much everything should probably be the main trim color, unless you're overusing it, then the secondary trim color.
Oh, and do I? Oh, on my Mac. Do I have to figure that out or what?
You talking about like design wise or?
Yeah, well, I guess always design wise or whatever.
Well, the stats and everything are taken care of because it scales off of your main character stats.
Yeah.
I already have like most of those put. You'll notice, right, in your character sheet for your main character that there are two sets of stats. There'll be like base, and then there's one that's like 2 orders of magnitude higher or whatever. Maybe it's just one. I forget. But there'll be 2 stats side by side for each one of them. And I did that in your stat sheet one too, where it has like the calculation for your mech's weapons. It has all of your mech stats and stuff. And it's literally just a multiplier on your modified stats. So
That's the sheet that you're talking about. It's not the one on Google labeled Rick's sidekick stat sheet or just main character sheet.
no, your main character is where all the mech information is.
Okay.
Where you have, there's Rick's character sheet and Rick's stat sheet.
And that's probably under.
Probably, I think yours specifically, I have TEE put into the title for those. I don't know if I removed them or not, but that's because I have a couple different Rick's character sheets in my drive from our previous stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm probably going to rename them Rick hyphen the name of the character sheet, and then the same way for the stat sheet, because it's easier for me to keep track of everything.
Let's go across. Oh, Cromwell's.
And I'm probably doing that for all of them. They're going to be renamed like player hyphen character name character sheet. Because I had to do a similar thing for the other ones, because they also did a Final Fantasy campaign with me prior to this. It was just something we did off stream with a group of my Newgrounds friends. So I have a lot of character sheets for them too from another campaign that I have to juggle. They're in different folders, but sometimes they're not going through folders. You're like typing in the search so you can get to it faster. And then multiple things come up. It's like, well, that's not the one I want to click on.
Oh yeah, you got big advantages, big freaking Mac. Is that's just everything right there, right? Is there anything else?
Yeah, well, that gives you the details on how it works. If you go up to your stats, like your character's actual stats at the beginning, you'll notice that side by side, I put 2 different stats, right? So like under your lifting, it'll be like the stat, and then they'll be like the same stat but bigger.
Oh, man.
Let me go pull it up. And I'm pretty sure I updated your character sheet to do that too. I know for a fact I did it on your stat sheet. Which is, for gameplay-wise, the more important one, because that's... You only need your stat sheet up while we're playing. You won't need your character sheet up. That's something that we can modify like after the session or whatever. The stat sheet is the one that has all the calculations that you'll need, so you don't need to have too many tabs up.
Stat, it says lifting formula. It's got 2 formulas, and then it's got rating 22, real value.
Okay, 2. I see. I did it for Doc's Henshin. I forgot to also update your stat sheet too, but it's in your spreadsheet one.
Okay.
I'll update that later.
Okie dokie.
I remember I did it for one of these sheets. It was Doc's Henshin that I ended up going in for the actual character sheet. Because I had to do that for him too.
For a slightly different reason, eh?
Yeah, but effectively the same one. It's just different scaling. Like your mech scales harder than the Henshin one does. And there's just even more restrictions around your mech, right? Like somebody who has Henshin can use their transformation in more situations than you can use your mech.
Yeah. Because my mech is like big, I can't really...
Yeah, you're not even legally allowed to drive your mech through the city unless there's like an emergency going on that requires it.
So I could get stopped by the authorities if I get into my... If somehow my mech I can get...
Yeah.
There's something. How do I even bring my mech around with me and just suddenly...
Oh, you could call it.
Oh, so it's like a Power Ranger mech?
Sort of. It's got like like how I think Tesla could do this, but like how some electric cars kind of have like the auto park and the auto retrieval feature where it comes to you.
No, I don't know that, but sure, I'll take your...
We have cars in real life that have that feature now, right? But imagine, I don't know, I think this happened in Knight Rider a few times. Imagine like Kit just came straight to you, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could call your mech. You still have to like drive it for any advanced functions, but it's got like a basic autopilot for navigation.
Okay.
Which I guess, yeah, you didn't ask that. I have answered this question already. I think maybe it was Flit. When we were recording his, he asked several questions about your mech because he was curious how it would work.
Okay.
Probably questions you yourself should have asked.
Giving him information on my character.
Well, I was giving information on the advantage that exists in the rule book.
Yeah, I know. I'm just teasing a little bit.
Which are some things that I need to go back and I have to add into the rule book. That's like it's a good thing when people ask these questions because you're the mix, working on all this stuff, and there's things that you don't even think about that you need to add, right?
Yeah.
Like he asked, how much storage, like how many storage slots come in your mech, and that was a really good question because it was something I
Yeah.
thought about, but I didn't actually write it down into the rule book. I'm like, I need to add that as part of the advantage, and I think I did go back and add that since then, but I don't remember if I put it on your character sheet. It's in the player's manual though.
Okay. I guess I didn't even think about it having
Yeah,
storage.
because it's a vehicle.
Yeah. Technically it is. And again, I guess I was just thinking of it, it says, oh, you can call this during battle or whatever, so I wasn't thinking of anything beyond battle for it.
He says, "Listen, Rick, I've played a campaign with you, so I wanted to know how much treasure your mech could potentially hold." Yeah, that kind of what you were a treasure fiend in that last game.
Or what?
Completely abandoning your own party to go look at a treasure chest you saw on the map.
I made
Like in session
calculations.
2, I think, too, right? Like it was like one of the first sessions. And then you and Dillard's characters got into a fight in the middle of the fire swamp.
Forget what that was.
I remember it's because one of your team had fallen into the lightning sand, and instead of helping them out, your character went like straight to a treasure chest that he found on the map. And that really ticked Booty off.
My character made a calculated decision that he'd be able to get over there, get the chest, and
And the whole
get over there.
situation made your characters think that they were like ill prepared for the fire swamp when they weren't. Like they totally could have taken it at the starting level. It's designed for you to take it at the starting level. But they're like, well, let's go back. We need to do some like team building exercises. Let's go on some like hunts or something before we come back here. Meanwhile, Tim's just there trying to steal his own teammates' money while they're distracted. I think he actually got some of yours.
Yeah. I think he did too, if I remember right.
Yeah. I mean, all things considered, it was a really fun like first session. I think it was the second session, but I consider it like the real first session because it was the one where everybody was there. The session before that was kind of more of like a session 0.
Yeah. Fitzchoso says, I'm pretty sure you're glad I'm not part of this RPG.
Probably.
Yeah, well, hopefully this time I will play my character better. Well, I'm not sure whether I played it bad last time or not, but
It depends on your perspective. As a game master, I would say that you were playing it a little poorly. You were still having fun and entertaining. So, like, I'm not taking anything against it. That's the most important part, is that everybody's having fun.
yeah.
Though I could tell you Buck wasn't having fun, at least during the early stuff. It took quite a while until he started having fun. That's why we had to have several talks about things. I wanted everyone at the table to have fun. But it was just really hard to understand how you should be playing your character from the perspective of a game master, right? Because you can pretty much make whatever character you want,
Yeah.
but you and I need to have some type of understanding of how your character is supposed to act, for both the case of like writing things for you guys to do, but also for the fun of everybody else at the table, making you stick to what you said your character was, unless the narrative develops them in a different direction, right?
Yeah.
So it was really hard for me to make you play your character the way you want, like you wanted your character to be, because I had a hard time understanding what you wanted your character to be.
I
It did
probably
not turn
did.
out like what you wrote for your character before the game started, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's because I won't say it was my first time, but close to my first time, but a real good first campaign, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think it definitely got better as we went along, which you expect. I was really lenient on all of you because it was pretty much all of your either first campaign in general or your first real campaign, right? Which is effectively almost the same thing. I think the two most experienced out of you were Buck and Dillard out of everyone, because Dillard used to do a lot of stuff when he was younger, and he'd also, recently been in a brief campaign that I don't think finished. Might have been the same one you were in.
Yeah, with Chester.
Yeah. But he had a
Yeah.
lot more experience before that. Just usually rules light, more narrative. But still, that's a lot of experience. And then Buck had played like another full campaign before that, and he did some short stuff with me back when we were in middle school, but he never really got like a long full experience when it came to actual rules and mechanics. So that was like his second, I would say, like real campaign experience, but he had like a full campaign experience before that.
Well, let's see. Flit asked, did Rick figure out his character's main personality and alt personality?
No, at least not. He hasn't told me if he did.
Oh, yeah, I gotta do that too, don't I?
Yeah. Rick, you made a very complex character. I hope you know.
I'm beginning to see that. I forgot all about that sort of stuff. Maybe maybe Saturday night. Or maybe I should get with you to
Maybe.
try.
Just to finish everything.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, because also, like, I'm gonna have to get with Paj. But hey, maybe we just get a group call, and I can help you flesh out your stuff while I make his character.
Yeah. Because I guess I would like to have, well, obviously, I'd like to have it more fleshed out and like a, because I end up fleshing out my character a little bit more
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle, I think. And I think I started playing it closer to what, or consistently. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, part of it too is we started because we were fleshing your character out more. So I would say it was probably really close to the end. But before you finish the chapter, your character started being more consistently, I would say, when you met Blitzkrieg and we started involving like your character's past more, right? where we were talking about like, oh, he lived with the inside the Empire and learned their stuff for a while, so he knew about this character. And we started putting like more information into like what do you know about the Empire and stuff like that, and
Yeah. Let's see. Fitzgerald says my character would have literally have a body cam on to record information. That's if that's
that is acceptable. Well, especially because like there's a lot of this is like the service, right? So it would actually make sense sometimes too, especially given the starting of the setting, uh, or like the actual one shot you guys will be doing because your characters are on probation. To actually have like a normal service officer in the crew like that would not be, I would say, inappropriate to what's going on, and be like, oh yeah, of course the officer has a body cam on. I don't know who the last person is though. I've got a few people that I'm going to invite. We'll see. I might just leave it a surprise for you guys. I'll find a person who has got the day available, and you guys can figure out who the last person is when we get to the actual game.
Hey, Alpha.
I'm going to swap over and just like I'll be on my bad mic, but I'll be on the PlayStation for a
Yeah.
little bit because I need to start dinner. So I get to pace around though. I don't have to sit still. I hate sitting still. So I'll be back.
Okie dokie. Now the Mexican cartels have Dillard. That's Alpha's story, and he's sticking to it. Once he gets back, I'll read your comment there or question flit. Well, actually, I can answer that anyways. So I'm guessing Rick hasn't yet decided on the trigger point that swaps his character's personalities. No, I haven't. I forgot all that information, even to consider that information. I was thinking, why is my character a fielder? I got some back history, but
No.
and you're
I have returned.
That's good. Robot Rugby League champion. Says
Or
Flip.
maybe I haven't. Oh, there you are.
Okay, so let's set hopefully our last color.
Yeah, see, Rick, you didn't have to be careful with colors. You picked the really colorful, bright and shiny race that could be like any color a car could be. You could kind of throw like caution to the wind when it came to coloring your character.
Yeah, I did on my first one, didn't I?
Yeah, yeah, you did. You're like, let me just throw all the primary colors on there.
Although I might go back and change it. Because technically, I know where probably with the. I have a person I was actually basing that character off of.
Yeah. Well, I did tell you because we're splitting it now, and I'm going to have a stream directly to the X Dynamis Chaos YouTube, that you could be a lot looser with your character than the restrictions I was going to put on you before.
Meaning.
Like, if you want to make it even more like your like cross comics character, you can. I don't care.
Oh, it's not actually, believe it or not, it's not technically a cross comics character.
Oh, okay.
I sort of scrapped that idea once, it's like, okay, can't really do the Transformer thing. So then it's like, but I still wanted to go with the robot race and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun idea, and you did like playing the cast in Phantasy Star Online 2 when we played. Actually, I think we were both casts, because I was one too.
Yeah.
I played a 6'8" robot girl.
Yeah.
Named Janet.
Okay, so what do you think?
Oh, what do I think?
Or do I want to know?
Actually, let me look. I don't have it up on my phone.
Oh.
Let me go pull it up. And from the PlayStation, I can't see your webcam or anything, so I actually have to go pull up the stream. It's all right. It's more cohesive than your other one.
Yeah.
The Robot Rugby League champion. You know. Very. What was I say? Very, very Brazil.
Let's see. It's...
I should probably cover this in aluminum foil. That sounds appropriate. I don't have to do a lot of work for dinner.
That's good.
Frozen fish fillets, but I do have to be like at the oven.
Flit says, Brazil? Is that a callback to Rick's Brazilian Hero contest?
I don't think it is, but I do remember that. I'm just saying that his character looked like he could be playing for like a Brazilian football league or something, you know? And they're pretty good, the Brazilian footballers. So if you had to be playing for like any country, it's not a bad one. They're not Spain, but they're still pretty good.
Well, there's a question. Can these guys get themselves recolored at any time or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In fact, they often do, right? Because I told you throughout their life, they will occasionally replace parts for whatever career change they might have. And it's like, well, the part they get is not probably going to be colored properly. I mean, maybe they can order one that's close, right? But they're probably going to do like a fresh paint job whenever they switch parts out so that everything's like matches. They basically have auto body paint, you know? Like you could repaint a car.
Yeah. Till almost this moment, I never even thought about them repainting themselves. I don't know why.
I mean, for the most part, I think a lot of them end up sticking to the same color, just because a lot of them have favorite colors. But I'm sure there's probably more fashion-minded ones that might have like different chassis and stuff. They might, it's almost like getting your hair cut, right? Like they'll go in for a new paint job. Be like, yeah, did you notice anything? It's like, yes. You are midnight blue now. You were coral blue for like the entire last week. Which that would be a very obvious change. Midnight blue and coral blue are not even close to the same color. If it was like deep navy, that would be harder to check. That'd be like not noticing your girlfriend got a haircut, but
Or a completely different hairstyle.
yeah. Well, I mean, that'd be closer to getting a completely different hairstyle, or maybe getting it slightly colored. You know, nothing too fancy, but still enough that like you'd easily be able to tell. See, that's actually that's more Mega Man.
Oh, the blue.
Yeah. But that's also closer to the color scheme Janet had. Very blue, very, very blue. But she was one of the ones that had more human features. Like she's like a doll face or whatever with human hair.
Foot asks, how long is this RPG session expected to last?
I don't know. It's not supposed to be a terribly long one. I imagine at most it should take 4 hours, and that's if you guys are going slow. Because basically, as the intro one-shot, it's designed to not actually need a session 0. So if people were like, they got their whole crew together, right? And this is their first time playing, they could all spend like an hour making their characters and stuff at the table together before hopping into it, and that would count as part of like their session time, right? But because we're doing all this stuff ahead of time, you guys don't have to worry about that. It'll be subtracted from your playtime. Technically, because I made all of your stuff separately, and I was basically also learning how to run somebody through it at the same time. It took way longer than it should at like a normal session.
Hey, Herman. Herman says that's an interesting cod piece.
Airman. It's going through a rough lot right now.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers with you.
Okay, I'm gonna run down all of this. I got my white and my chrome on the same level.
Oh, that's not good.
Or light gray, whatever you want to call it. Herman says thanks. Alpha says hi, Herman. I miss hearing you on the Drawn and Quartered. Alpha says hang in there, man. We are cheering for you. And then thanks, Alpha. Well, I concur with both Alpha and Metal.
But yeah, back to the other topic. I imagine it should take no longer than 4 hours. Which I would say, to me, that feels like a short session, right? As I've told you guys before. But that's about the average session length that we were hitting back in the old playthrough that we were doing.
Actually, I think we were hitting longer than that, but
Near the end. It took a while to build up for it, right? So at the beginning, you guys were having trouble going more than 2 hours because you didn't build up that tabletop like stamina. But then by the end, we were hitting like 6 or sometimes 7, I think maybe even 1 to 8 hours. Which to me, by the end, that was getting close to actual tabletop time, right? Like 8-hour session, that's a good day. But I also come from the older practice of, because I started still pretty late, all things considered, but in 3rd edition, right? Back when I was in middle school. And it's something where you just set the day aside. It's like, this is what we're doing on Saturday. We'll break for lunch or something at some point, but this is our Saturday. But this is an intro too. So I'm also considering maybe even a lot of people playing this, they're probably going to be tabletop fans or people who are at least thinking of getting into tabletop, because why else would you jump into some game that isn't D&D or maybe Pathfinder, right? But there might be a lot of like really new people. This is designed for first timers and everything. So, and like short session. It's going to be designed to be a short session because character creation is also going to be lumped in with it.
yeah. Herman says I have to drive an hour one way for work, so no more late nights for Herman.
Ooh, yeah.
Alpha says night driving is the worst.
Well, I mean, I could think of a lot of ways to make it even worse, but
Snow.
all of them are just going to be compounding
Right.
on it at night, right? Like, yeah, like being in a blizzard or being in like a hailstorm or something, technically worse, but also those things are still worse at night. So like we're compounding things together to get worse than that.
Cutis says, I'm back from my nap. And then Alpha Proto says, if you're Rocky in Rocky 4, your Lambo clearing my night driving isn't so bad.
You know, I think Rocky 4 is probably the one I have the least amount of memory of. Like, I remember the fight very clearly, but I remember the fight very clearly in all the Rockies. But there's like so many smaller scenes in that one that like just I do not remember until I go back and rewatch it.
There we go. Do. So what is supper for you? I think you were saying, but I forget.
Oh, fish fillet.
Oh, okay.
Just the easy stuff. It's the Gorton's beer battered fish fillets, you know, prepackaged.
Uh,
I would have actually preferred to make them from scratch, but fish wasn't on sale recently, so we didn't pick up any fish. We only pick up meat if it's on sale or discount.
Alpha says he had a microwaved potato.
I don't like that. every time I see somebody do it, a lot of people do it. I get it, you know. I don't like that. I think also I don't like baked potatoes. I'm weird. Don't like baked potatoes. To me, it is like the worst way to eat a potato. In some way, I'd rather just eat a raw potato over a baked potato. But I have to do like the process of making a baked potato to make mashed potatoes anyway, if you actually want to make mashed potatoes the right way. So anytime I see a baked potato, I'm like, if you were less lazy, we could just go and make like mashed potatoes out of this. You know, like we could go the one step forward.
Well, I usually, to make mashed potatoes, just boil them.
I don't never boil potatoes when I make mashed potatoes.
Hey,
If I was
Matthew
making like
Kruger.
potato pancakes, maybe I'd boil the potatoes, right? I'd never do it for mashed potatoes.
Alpha says baked potatoes take a long time, and then he says, I'm thinking about making a peanut butter and jam.
See, that's what I'm thinking though, because like baked potatoes do take a long time, and if I'm gonna put that much effort into baking the potato, I'm gonna make like champ out of it, which champ is a Irish style mashed potato that has heavy whipping cream inside of it, butter. It has green onion chopped up inside of it. It's really good. And to make it properly, you put the potato in the oven for like an hour, right? You put like 4 potatoes in the oven for an hour, so you have enough. And then when you take it out, you slice them half, flip them upside down, press them down. The skin peels right off, and they're already the perfect texture. You put them inside your mixing bowl with everything else. I prefer mine kind of actually more whipped potatoes, texture-wise. So to do that, I could just take a beater to it. But if you want something that has more of that traditional mash texture, you could just take your own whisk and lightly do it. If you want to make sure the texture is really good, you can run it through a ricer first. But it's like if I'm taking that much effort to bake the potatoes and I have to wait an hour anyway, I'm just going to make something better.
Yeah. Alpha says, I remember a comedian telling a joke about the time he done cooking a potato in the oven. He had already eaten.
I know that joke.
So he just puts the potato in over every hour just in case. Okay.
Yeah. So like every hour, he just already has a baked potato. I don't remember the comedian either, but like I've heard that joke. I know the exact one he's talking about. I think the other thing too, I dislike even more the modern baked potato, because the modern baked potato, people assume is going to come fully loaded, and it's really less about eating the potato, and it is more about like a serving mechanism for all the stuff you want to put on the potato, like your sour cream and your bacon and all the other stuff. It's like I don't want that. Get that away from me. The butter, I agree with the butter. Put the butter. We can put butter in everything. Okay, that's fine. But just get the rest of that away from me.
Fully loaded. I don't mind a regular baked potato with some
Classic
margarine.
style. I have more respect for classic style.
And, maybe some sour cream or whatever.
Cheese, I respect for cheese. If you want to grate some cheese onto it, that also makes sense. That makes perfect sense. I might even accept some homemade gravy over it, if you've got some. But I have issues with gravy. I made gravy recently. It was great. But a lot of what like you get from the store now, I don't even consider gravy, because there's like no animal product in it whatsoever. And if you do not have, say, like meat drippings or any animal fat or cream or anything in there, I don't think it's gravy. And a lot of it's like, oh, well, we're just going to add more flour and more starch and some other plant starches, to like plant oils to make up for it. Like, that's not gravy. I don't want your pseudo gravy. Get that out of here. I made some nice beef and cream country western gravy just last month, and that was great. Yes, everything is better with butter. Butter's also not bad for you, unless you eat like really excessive amounts, or you're eating like not real butter. Like, you look at the ingredients and there's a bunch of other oils put in there. Butter's perfectly fine in acceptable quantities. There's dairy, there's animal fat, there's some protein in there. shoot, I could just eat butter. Like from the stick.
Yeah, I could too. I've done it. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether I've done butter before, but I've done margarine.
I'll just stick a popsicle stick in and I'll eat that instead of a popsicle. Margarine? Don't. That's just plant oil. Like, it's literally just vegetable oil, Rick. Tastes fine.
Margarine is bad. Okay. Night, Herman.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Marsupial was telling me that he was trying to watch your stream yesterday. I think like on the way home or whatever. But then like he couldn't chat. He was having trouble. And then he realized, oh, he caught your stream late, and it was the playback, and it was the comment section, not the chat.
Now they say to kick me from my own show.
Yeah, margarine's awful. I mean, it's good for some things, right? Like, if I had to grease a pan with it, I mean, I'd rather grease a pan with butter anyway. But I would prefer to grease a pan with margarine than say like liquid vegetable oil, just because the consistency is better. But I wouldn't want to actually use it as a butter replacement for like toast or anything you're eating that you'd want to put butter in. It doesn't cook the same either. Like you can't just use it as a replacement very well for like baking a cake.
Well, unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, probably unfortunate, margarine is usually a lot cheaper, so growing up, that's what I got used to.
Yeah, luckily, I got to try both growing up before I like actually knew the difference between them. My dad, for some reason, really liked margarine. I judge him really heavily for that now, and I think it's probably because he grew up with it. But my mom always had butter in the house, but she had that like really hard, like white Land O'Lakes butter. You know, the one that comes in a tub that's like it's hard to get out. It's almost solid when you take it out of the fridge. And she liked it because it meant most other people didn't want to use it, right? Because either you had to like scrape really hard or you had to like leave it out for a while ahead of time. So it was a little softer. It's like, nobody's going to touch my butter. I ate that stuff all the time. I was stubborn. Like, I will scrape off the amount of butter that I want to use.
Yeah. Alpha says those colors are very good, and I think I did that last one wrong, though. On the wrong layer.
But I also grew up in a cattle town. So there was plenty of like butter available everywhere you went. We even had goat butter because there's a goat farm on one end of the town. And some goat cheese. I got to try that really young. I'm like, this is good. Then when I got older, I heard people thinking like goat milk, goat cheese, goat butter was disgusting. I'm like, you guys are crazy. Maybe you just didn't grow up with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, Alpha got hit with the propaganda. Where he's like, that's what I heard butter did to your veins, hardens up. So the liquid oil was better for you. Yeah, they do. They were lying so hard about butter for so long. They were trying to blame butter for the reason people were getting fat. It's like, no. It's probably the excessive amounts of processed sugar that you're eating. That's probably why you're getting fat. It's actually really hard to get fat off of butter. You can, but like the amounts you got to eat. You are probably eating the whole stick multiple times a day. Isn't goat milk butter lactose free? I don't know actually. The details on that might be. I know some people consume it because they have problems with it, so maybe. That is not a fact I know.
Do these guys have any particular eye colors, or is it just
Particular? No, not really. I mean, their eyes are functionally just like decorated lenses, so they could kind of be whatever.
okay? And the inside of their mouse, or do they really have inside of their mouse? Is their mouths just
I guess
speakers?
it depends on the construction of the head. Like, definitely the ones that are more doll-like, for sure, their mouth functions like what you'd expect like a human mouth to function, but it could also range to not even needing a mouth, you know, like just having that like Transformer style cover and just a voice box coming through.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's whatever. If you want inside of the mouth, you have it inside of the mouth. That's just how the character was constructed.
Nah, I just do the same colors.
Yeah, Alpha is telling on himself a little bit, a little fun in chat. He says, like, I saw a Three Stooges episode where drinking goat milk made the people make like goat sounds and stuff, you know, like gleeking and everything. And for some reason that stopped him from drinking it, but by the same logic, he should be mooing. Flitz says Rick is trying to figure out how anatomically correct the gorilla are without tipping his hand. Well, I would say, to my knowledge, they are about as anatomically correct as a Ken doll.
This.
Nope.
Merge select.
Get that?
Huh. So that. Thought I merge selected. Merge. Merge visible.
I'll let that rest for like a minute. Well, I think, what, you only have 8 minutes left on your show?
Yeah, approximately.
Okay, well, I'm gonna head off just a little early, but I'm gonna drop the link to the website now, and I'll still be in the chat for the last few minutes, but we're getting ready for dinner. But, you know, if anybody else is interested in stuff, they can find all that here. And I'll catch you later, Rick.
Okay. I'm gonna cross. How dare you? How dare I what? Oh. For M-KK. I can't really see the circuitry in that. I need a server rack. Rick, send me a server rack with a CU chassis and a 4U chassis. Okay, I have no idea what that is. P7R dash 3C. I just use an old computer as a server. The sidekick is bigger than your main character? Yes. I have too much equipment on my desk. A server rack would be so much cleaner. I'm probably provide better cooling for my hardware. There we go. L4M. Is that shady dark web code speak for lichens throat ferment? No. So there we go. Yes, it is. I'm not calling my female robot boobs, and I'm certainly not calling my male robot an idiot. But anyways, thanks for Metal for coming on. Thanks everybody in the chat for coming by. We've got these guys done. Maybe next week we'll draw her big freaking mech, so we have an idea what it looks like. $80085. That's what I'm talking about. But we'll see everybody tomorrow night for the one, the only, the Silhouette game, where it will be Kung Fu Fighting. No. Part 2 of fighting games. So anyways, good night. God bless. Love you all.